Hot wife lifestyle might have ruined my marriage of 20 years. 44-year-old male, been with my wife, 42-year-old female, for 22 years. We got married and had kids fast and have always been very happy and loving to each other. We started talking about doing something a little different in the bedroom one night, and I brought up the topic since a coworker mentioned doing that. Well, after a while, we both realized we'd enjoy it. We thought we would find a guy and she could have relations with him and I would watch. She was nervous, but I could tell she was curious. First guy, we both didn't feel comfortable and decided to try again. At first, I went as expected, but slowly it started to change. Then she asked me if she could see him alone and got mad when I said no, but complied and didn't see him. Then a week later, I was using her phone to check a password and saw their texts. She didn't know why I didn't like what I saw, and she thought I was overreacting. When I told her we aren't doing that anymore, it caused a fight to the point where we can barely be in the same room together. I know she isn't seeing him. I know she isn't keeping anything from me. It's fairly obvious. But she hasn't been the same since. She keeps begging me to let her talk to him so he knows what's going on. The only time we're normal is when our kids are home. I miss my wife, I miss our marriage, and I wish I never brought this up. I never expected it to go this way. I just want our old life back. Oh my goodness, yeah. So I think it's completely normal to try new things in the bedroom when you both are interested, you know? It sounds like you guys came to this conclusion together, and that's why it really hurts when someone starts to stray or, maybe, I feel like, yeah, it's hard. I don't think it's for me, but I think open relationships can be beautiful, but there do have to be boundaries. If I was in a open relationship, I would try and do everything to make my partner feel like my partner and feel like, this person is supposed to fulfill both of us, not just me, if that makes sense. So a comment reads, why is it so popular to open up people's marriages these days? There's a bunch of people doing it where I work with young families. I cannot fathom why anyone would assume that they can deal with the consequences of things like this when they can't possibly know until they've done it. At which point, it's often too late to fix things. Doing the dirty is intimate as F, even if it's not love. There'll be people who fall in lust hard and will destroy their families for the rush. It also highlights how she's becoming obsessed with the guy quickly. That was meant to be just for fun. Personally, I don't think your marriage will recover from this. There are too many complicated emotions and damage already done. People are going to get hurt. At the very least, I say neither of you two should do this again. It's not for you. And it's sad because I think, like, he wanted to do this and he enjoyed it, but because it's gone too far, like she overstepped the boundary, like finding texts and stuff and asking to see him alone, I feel like that's almost going across like what they personally agreed on. But that just could be my opinion. Apparently, I have been peeing wrong for my entire life. Recently, I attended a wedding. I was complaining to a couple buddies of mine that were there that I always hate dressing up in suits because taking a leak is always a pain in the butt. Having to undo everything and then redo it all back up. And they all looked at me confused and asked what I meant and asked me to describe my process. I've been completely undoing my pants while taking a piss. Belt, button, untucked shirt, the whole 9 yards. I've been doing it this way for 26 years. They all laughed at me and said you're supposed to just unzip your zipper, fish it out through the zipper, and then go to the bathroom. I have never done it this way once, and it hasn't even occurred to me that's what the flap in the underwear is for. I never questioned it. Do all men go to the bathroom this way? Does anybody else just undo everything like me? I feel so silly. Also, a little edit to the questions. No, my pants are at my ankles when I go to the bathroom. No, I wasn't that kid in elementary school. My pants don't immediately fall to my ankles after undoing everything. I don't have to hold them up. If this happens to you, you have a really flat booty or are wearing the wrong pants. Didn't you see how other people were doing it and realize you were doing something wrong? This was another question. You're looking at other people when you're in the bathroom. You're mad weird for that. I'm focused on me and I don't pay attention to anyone else. I also rarely use public bathrooms at all. I only use them if absolutely necessary. I'll hold it in all day until I get home. I have astonishing bladder control. Someone commented, no, you're supposed to unbuckle everything and then pull it all the way down to your ankles. Don't let these pee covered psychos tell you what is normal. That was funny. I want my mother in law. Yep, you read that correctly. Can't stop thinking about her. This isn't just a compulsion or an obsession. This has been brewing for years now, and it's gotten to the point where I need to act on it, either by speaking with her or gently flirting to see what comes of it. Am I mad? Do these things actually happen? I love my wife, but I want my mother in law too. Help, what do I do? They don't actually happen. Say goodbye to your wife if you do. Dude's about to speed run destroying his entire family over some fantasy that's never gonna work out the way he thinks it will. Well, I guess that beats hating her. But yeah, don't do it. You can imagine all while you're doing it with your wife, but keep your hands off your mother-in-law. Don't do your mother-in-law, question mark, question mark. Bro, the fallout would be devastating, and imagine how heartbreaking and awful it would be for your wife. Ruining at least two, if not three relationships because you can't have self-control. Goodness, man, get a grip. How selfish. And he responded, he said, trust me, there is self control here. I've sat on this for years. Nothing selfish about it. I'm not actually done anything at all, just thoughts in my head. Keep your contacts to a minimum and get a hold of yourself. Goodness. If you are 100% sure you're going to act on it, I suggest confessing to your mother in law and your wife at the same time or your wife individually. Oh, goodness. My friend is a creep. A little while ago, me and my friend who was 16 at the time, decided to try and scare people on Roblox Snapchat game. So we joined a server and I used multiple alternate accounts to receive a free invisible game pass for both of us. After about 30 to 45 minutes of scaring people on the game, I noticed that he was more quiet than usual. Then I noticed that he was not with me in the game, but somewhere else. I got curious and decided to find him in the game. After a bit of searching, I finally found him in a house with someone else, probably private chatting. He then ran off to another room in the game, and I peeked through the window to see his avatar completely naked with a female avatar, also completely naked. If you play the game, it's pretty easy to tell who is of age and not based on avatars. I stopped talking to him after that, but after a while, I went onto Roblox when I noticed I had forgotten to block him. He was playing the game again. I thought that surely he wasn't going to do it again. So I made an alternate account disguised as a female, joined him in the game, and messaged him on there. It didn't take long for a response. He invited me over to his house in the game, so I went. And after that, he chatted to me a bit in a private chat, but after a few minutes, it began to be a weird conversation that and eventually led to him making some comments. He then began to lure me to a bed in the game and quickly started taking off my little avatar's clothes. I quickly left the game and blocked his Roblox account on both accounts, and I never contacted him again since then. Bro caught him twice doing the same gross thing and still had to test him again. Your gut was right the first time. Dude's a straight up creep. Good on you for cutting him off completely. And someone else said, I believe you should tell his parents and send him to therapy. But the original poster said, honestly, I doubt his parents will care because his brother is a bit of a weirdo as well, who ironically hugs and kisses a female anime body pillow. No judgment, but yeah. He commented back saying, ignore his presence and be safe. Stay safe out there, guys. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me with my twin who doesn't exist. So, this was while me, 24, was in high school. So forgive me, I have lost some details. While I was in high school, I was 16. I had a bit of a habit of a lying streak. It sucks, and I've grown since then, but this incident stands out in my memory. I have been dating a girl who's been going to a different school. We talked mostly through Instagram, and at the time I had a few accounts. One for my family, one for my friends, and a meme account. Girlfriend at the time only followed my one for my friends, which mostly had heavily edited pictures. I sent her a message jokingly say, hey, follow this guy, he's pretty cool, followed by my username for my family account. Now both accounts had my face on display, and the only difference is that my friend account had just my middle name. She, female-year-old, 16-year-old, had reached out to the alternate account and said, hey, my boyfriend says you're pretty cool. It's nice to meet you. I responded, I would think so, especially because we look so much alike. and messages back, OMG, are you guys twins? And they answer, yes, we are twins, obviously. I then set up elaborate photos, pretending to be my twin brother, building up a different personality as time went on. She began flirting with my fake twin, sending him or me messages much like she did with me in the beginning, and said, I've always wanted a secret. And so the game went on for 6 months. At some point, I slipped up, and in order to save the ruse, I had to think quickly. I sent her a message that was supposed to be from the twin from my account. She obviously questioned it in response. I just looked through his phone and know everything. She panicked and started profusely apologizing, begging me not to hurt him or me. I faked a fight between me and my twin and said that he ran away and blocked her. I don't know what she thinks. I never saw her again. Obviously, it's been 9 years and I feel bad, but also she cheated on me. This is a comment. Honestly, sounds like you both have some major issues. Not gonna lie, the story's hilarious, but also a little cringe. But you did what you had to do. Hopefully, you've both grown since then. LOL, wow, LOL, wow. I can't choose. That's crazy. Ha. She would have cheated on you either way, I think. But dude, 6 months? My dad used to put small holes in my sister's walls to spy on her. My dad built my sister's room in the basement when I was like 9. She's 4 years older than me. When he was done building it, he showed me little peepholes he made in the corners of the wall. He made it sound like it was some top secret fun thing that we were spies and we needed to do this to keep an eye on her. He said it would be a secret and couldn't tell anyone. My sister was pretty sneaky and misbehaved a lot, so to me at 9 years old, it made a lot of sense. When my sister had friends over to spend the night, my dad and I would go look through the pee holes to make sure they weren't doing anything bad, quote unquote. At almost 30 years old, I suddenly remembered all of this and just how weird it truly was. And it makes me question everything. What if he was spying on her after she took a shower or was changing? I never told my mom about this. I don't know if I ever will. I've never told anyone at all. This is just weird, right? I also cannot believe this was real. Your dad was literally peeping on your daughter, comment says. Pretty disgusting behavior by your father, and he brought you along. Even more awful. Yeah, this isn't innocent fun. This is 100% him being a creep. How do you know he didn't later spy on you too? And the original poster says, I didn't mention in the last post, but years later I moved to the same room. I was always scared I was being watched, and I put tapes over the holes. I started changing my clothes under the blankets. It could be him being a creep, but it could also be very stupid, no boundaries, creepy way to like make sure she wasn't smoking pot or something. This is horrific. My dad is a creep. You 100% should warn your sister if they're still in contact. So for me, I feel like the way he said you can't tell anybody, I feel like that's kind of the weird thing. Like it'd be like, oh, if mom knows about it, then it's a little different. Then maybe it might be like, oh, she, does some stuff around the house that maybe she's not supposed to do. Keep an eye on her, which is also, maybe too. But if that was the case, at least her mom would know. He wouldn't be like, oh, let's keep this a secret. I'm completely disgusted by my brother, and I don't know how to pretend I'm not. I'm going to start off by saying that I know that teenagers are gross. It's a rough time. Sometimes their hygiene isn't ideal, but think of the crustiest kid from back when you were in school and times that by 100, and that's my brother. He's 16, about to turn 17 in January, and the 2 weeks I've been staying here with him, he hasn't showered once. His only two interests are sports and video games. He'll play sports a few hours a day, comes in sweaty AF, eats his whole body weight in food, and then goes and plays Fortnite the rest of the day. But it gets worse. 2 days ago, I decided I'd tidy up his room for him, since it was getting pretty bad to ignore. The mess was spilling into the hallway, and the stench coming from his room was starting to make the whole house smell bad. I did his laundry, came out with 2 bin bags full of half moldy food, and just when I was finished up, I decided to look into the mini bin under his desk, and it was full of pee. I went and told my mom straight away. Turns out this kid wouldn't even bother to get up to pee while he was gaming. He just peed into the bin and left it there next to his hot PC. It was rancid. My mom told me not to tell him that I knew about it, but bro, I can't even make eye contact with him. I'm so disgusted. What the F? Edit. My parents are amazing people, and I don't think this is their fault at all. They raised me and my brother to be great functional adults. Almost 17, I don't think it's their responsibility anymore. They give him access to hot showers and soaps, and they can't constantly force him. He's not 5. Edit number 2. I'm like 99% sure he's not depressed. Obviously, you can never know for sure, but he's very outgoing and very extroverted. He kind of doesn't believe in mental health struggles and mocks my issues. A comment reads, tell him, don't let him think that's okay. He needs you. How are you saying your parents are amazing? They've done an absolute job of raising this kid. If 16 is still a kid, he is not an adult. Your parents need to put him in big boy boots and kick some sense into him. What the heck? He better turn himself around because what the heck? This is genuinely disgusting. The idea that teenage boys are messy and dirty is often true, but never to this extent. I have a brother myself who is 16, and I can tell you that his room does smell sometimes, but never to this extent of what this post says. How about no Fortnite until you shower? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Homie is 17 and acting like a 10-year-old.